You may notice a new background setup compared to what it is that you have become accustomed to. That is because once the watch party live stream, Vikings versus Bears at home, once that watch party ended, my family and we hightailed it out of the house because we have had this family vacation planned out months in advance. But the content will continue, including the post game video reaction. So here we are. I'm not going to blame the defense, although they did struggle against the run. You held the Bears to 19 total points. I'm not going to blame the offensive line. JJ McCarthy had fantastic protection, did not get sacked at all in that game. I'm not going to blame KOC. And in fact, just to give him his credit, his deserved credit, he committed to the run. Something that was a clear issue with him being pass happy, pass, defense, defense, defense. This time he switched it up. He ran that football, seeing especially how his quarterback was struggling out there. I think that took guts, that took courage for him to look within himself and say, we cannot keep doing this anymore. Now, moving forward, the rest of the season, will you still commit to the run game and have, at the very least, a balanced offensive attack? If you're going to do that, okay, that says that you are headed in the right direction as far as being a much better head coach and a much better play caller. KOC did, I think, a really, really good job in play calling for this game. So I'm not going to blame the defense, not blaming the offensive line, not blaming the head coach. There are two reasons why the Vikings are now finding themselves with a 4-6 record after losing today's game. Two reasons. Number one, special teams. After the Vikings scored a touchdown with the catch by Jordan Addison, 50 seconds left to go, on the ensuing kickoff, the Chicago Bears, they returned it for 56 yards all the way to the Vikings 40. So it didn't take them much time at all to get to the Vikings side of the field. Already just a couple of yards more needed, and you're in favorable field goal position. Down 17-16, they just need a field goal to win the game, and that's all she wrote. They kicked the field goal for a walk-off victory. Special teams blew it. And the second cause of defeat was none other than JJ McCarthy. Yes, he had receivers dropping passes that normally wouldn't drop passes. Jets, he dropped the pass. Addison did as well. So he had a couple of times where he did make good throws, but his receivers didn't help him out. But for the most part, we're talking about wild ass throws he was making all game long. A 50% completion rate, 2 interceptions, should have been 3. He was awful. And for the JJ McCarthy stands out there, you can't have it both ways. I'm not saying that they need to make a decision on McCarthy. In fact, as much as I would like to say, give him the 2026 season before maybe bringing in competition the following year for 2027, the reality is I think they're going to give McCarthy his entire rookie contract before making a decision. They're not going to, more than likely, not going to give him his 5th-year option. So I would say the 4 years, once it's up, then they're going to say, okay, we're going to bring in another quarterback. Maybe we'll franchise tag you, JJ McCarthy, and then bring in a quarterback for competition's sake. But I don't think anything drastic is going to happen until after the 2027 season. But if I may, I've noticed something in today's game. Actually, not just in today's game, but today's game made me realize something mechanic-wise that JJ McCarthy, I think, can remedy this sooner rather than later. So all season long, the 5 games he has played this season so far, he's had issues nonstop with batted balls at the line of scrimmage. And that was certainly the case again today. I want to say there was at least 5 or 6 batted balls at the line of scrimmage in this game against Chicago. JJ McCarthy is listed at 6'3". I believe that he needs to operate as if he is a short quarterback. And let me explain. But before I do that, this video is brought to you by Sleeper. New daily fantasy users, sign up for Sleeper, get a free $20 entry. It is absolutely free, or make a deposit and get a 100% match up to $100. Terms and conditions do apply. Check out Sleeper today. So, going back to JJ McCarthy, he's listed at 6'3". He has issues with batted balls at the line of scrimmage. Why would you suggest, Randy, for him to operate as if he's a short quarterback? Well, I'm going to give you 2 examples. Drew Brees was listed at 6 feet tall. Maybe he was 5'11", but whatever. He was a short quarterback. Russell Wilson, and I'm talking about prime Russell Wilson with the Legion of Boom in Seattle with the Seahawks. He's listed at 5'11". You want to know what Drew Brees and Russell Wilson in their heyday, what they did mechanics-wise to be the very best version of themselves? You go back and watch game tape film on those 2 quarterbacks. They both had lift on their passes. What I mean by that is set hut, the ball snaps, and instead of throwing flat-footed, which JJ McCarthy does all the time, Drew Brees and Russell Wilson, they got a lift up on the balls of their feet, basically doing a calf raise as they're throwing the ball. So they got as much verticalness, if you will, for lack of a better word anyway. They got as much height on their passes despite their short stature. And clearly, it was very successful. It worked out in their favors, despite them being of short stature. I think JJ McCarthy needs to do the same. He throws the ball flat-footed, and clearly with this being an issue, batted balls at the line of scrimmage, he needs to get a little bit more height, even though he's 6'3". If he operates feet-wise, the likes of Russell Wilson and Drew Brees, I think he will be instantly a better quarterback than what he is right now. Your thoughts in the comments section below. But as far as the rest of the season goes, it's a wash. They're not going to make the playoffs. It's all about JJ McCarthy and his progression. I would say based off of today's game, he has certainly regressed. But realistically speaking, we can have the discourse of going back and forth. Should they move on from McCarthy? Should they seek someone else at the quarterback position? But the reality is, I think that they're going to see the contract through, or at the very least, or the worst case scenario for JJ McCarthy is going into the 2027 season, they'll bring in some competition for him. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Bro, lift up on the balls of your feet, calf raises, and then sling that thing, and you'll have a better chance of not having the ball batted down and getting the ball to your actual targets. Being accurate with those targets, well, that's a whole different situation, but one step at a time. We will see you next time. The content will continue, damn it. Let's go.